What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video. Where do I even start with my feelings about the Sabres right now? I don't even know where I should actually start. Not even a full 24 hours ago, not even a day ago, I pre-recorded a video about my feelings on the Sabres. I talked about and recapped the entire season that we just witnessed. And as bad as it was, even though it had an 18-game losing streak in it, Ralph Kruger was the coach for half of the season, and it did suck. There still were a lot of positives to be taken from this season. And in that video that I pre-recorded yesterday, I was extremely upbeat. I was extremely excited. I was looking forward to next season. And I was talking about how all these young guys really started to flourish to their full potential. Casey Mittelstadt, Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin, Rasmus Asplund, the list goes on. All of these younger guys were starting to play extremely, extremely well under Don Granato. And with Sam Reinhart really breaking out and Jack Eichel going to be healthy next season, I was extremely excited recording that video because I knew what we could possibly have next season. But not even a full 24 hours later from pre-recording that video about being excited, about being positive, my emotions about the Sabres have taken a complete 180. Obviously, all of those press conferences were going to go down this morning, and I don't think anybody thought they were going to go particularly well. I don't think much positivity was expected from these press conferences, to say the least, because the season sucked. There's no way around it. The season was not good. But I did not expect these press conferences to go as bad as they truly did. I did not understand. I don't think anybody actually understood the magnitude of how bad the Sabres organization actually is. How big of a dumpster fire, how big of a train wreck, how disappointing, how sickening this whole organization is being managed. It's incomprehensible. Is that the right word? I can't even comprehend what just happened this morning. I would say Mott's applesauce could help me right now, but I don't think a single thing could help the depressed Sabres fan that is sitting inside of my soul right now. This is truly probably the darkest day that we have had in over the last 10 years, easily. Maybe when, Drury and Briere left in 2007, that's probably up there in the darkest days, but this is most definitely the darkest day of the 2010. Well, now we're in the 2020s, but certainly over the last decade. This is shocking. So the press conferences started off with, Rasmus Ristolainen, Jake McCabe, Sam Reinhart. These guys really did not have much to say positively. Sam Reinhart, to a lot of people's surprise, actually was not really willing to commit to his future with the Sabres. And, I did not expect that going into this morning. Jake McCabe, he's going to be a free agent. He also was not very, committing to his future with the Sabres. Linus Ullmark really did not want anything to do with this press conference, and I do not blame him. I don't think any of these guys wanted anything to do with this press conference, but Linus Ullmark in particular, he went through a lot this season. His dad passed away. He's been struggling with a lot of personal issues, and as he put it, he just wants to go home and spend time with his family. He doesn't want to think about anything else right now. How can you blame the guy? Ristolainen was somewhat positive, but other than that, it just did not seem like anybody wanted to be here. Truly, not a single guy that had a press conference today really showed any lick of wanting to be here anymore. But then it truly got dark. It got dark. Really, really dark. It got dark beyond hockey terms, It got bad because Jack Eichel took his press conference, right? We all thought that, based on what Sam Reinhart would say, is probably how Jack is thinking because they're usually on the same page. They're really good friends. And once Sam Reinhart, was really not willing to commit his future to the Sabres, we were, as fans on Twitter, assuming that Jack Eichel was probably going to take the same course of action in this press conference. And he did, which was expected after what Reinhart said. But it got worse than that. As we all know, Jack Eichel has been dealing with a lot of injuries, especially this season. He fought through injuries, and then finally his injuries that he was dealing with it took him out. They took him out. And apparently, according to Jack himself, pretty much what he said is that the Sabres did not let him get surgery for his disc in his neck. I'm just going to play the clip. I'm going to play the quick clip for you as to what happened.
If you want surgery or if you don't want surgery, whatever your thought is on that, why don't you just do what you would like to do? It's your body. It's your decision with a doctor.
Doesn't work like that, Paul.
Is it because of a contract?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. I wish. I mean, yeah, you can't. I guess that's you hit the nail on the head there. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm under contract with this team, and they definitely hold a lot of cards on what I can and can't do.
Yeah, not many words for that. Like I said, Jack not only was not willing to commit his future here, but he also said, you know, there was a disconnect between him and the franchise. And then he said what you just watched. He basically was not allowed to get surgery for his neck. Even though he wanted to and his camp wanted him to get surgery, the team, because of the contract, was telling him no. And essentially the team does have the cards in their hand to play over Jack Eichel, but in this kind of situation, there's no other way to put it but fucked up. That is morally fucked up. Does it get any more fucked up than that? You know, we all knew that the Jack Eichel injury situation was not good, but this sheds some light on how bad this organization is actually being managed, all right? Jack Eichel is the cornerstone, the main piece to this franchise, your franchise player. And if you're treating him that way, if you're treating your franchise player the way that you're treating him like this, you're treating Jack Eichel this way, how can we expect this management, the other players, to be treated any better? If your cornerstone player, your franchise player, is being treated this negatively, how could we expect anything else to be going any better? That video clip you just watched was that sums it up. That sums up the dumpster fire. That just exposes how bad things are actually going within the Sabres organization. And I don't think anybody could have predicted how bad it actually is. Like I said, myself included, we all thought it was bad. We all knew it's bad because the product on the ice has been bad. But this goes beyond hockey, and this is worse. This is way worse. Eichel also went on to say at the end of the interview, and I quote, "I've got to do what's best for me, and they've got to do what's best for the team. There's a lot to process. I'm sure these conversations will be had, and things will go from there." Yeah, so like I said, if you would have asked me yesterday if I thought Reinhart and Eichel would be Buffalo Sabres next season, I would have said no question. But now, not even 24 hours later, I would put my money on the fact that they will not be here come the fall. I truly do not think these two guys are going to be playing for the Buffalo Sabres next season. And I truly think this is something that is beyond repair. The Pegulas are who the fingers need to be pointed at this point in time. And that's who they've been pointed at for a very long time now. The Sabres have not been good for 10 years. They have not made the playoffs in 10 years. The Pegulas have been the owners of the Sabres for 10 years. That's not a coincidence. We have known that the Pegulas are a very large reason for the failure of the Buffalo Sabres. They don't know what they're doing. They haven't known what they're doing. And I don't think they ever will. And as the recent track record has shown, they will just hide behind the Buffalo Bills like they have for the last 5 or 6 years now. They will hide behind their success, that is the Buffalo Bills, and will just turn their blind eye to the Buffalo Sabres. They will neglect the Sabres. They will continue to not address the dumpster fire that is the organization that they own, and they will let the fire continue to burn and act like it's not even there. And they will continue to hide and not say a word. I would put my money on the fact that we still will not hear from the Pegulas after all of this has been revealed, after these press conferences from Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart and all of the other players. And I'm sure Kevin Adams and Don Granato are going to be sent out there by the Pegulas to be eaten by the wolves, and they will sit behind their ownership doors, and they will sit behind the Buffalo Bills and just hide. And they will not take responsibility for anything that has to do with the Sabres because they have the Bills on their track record. And they do not care about the Sabres because they have the Bills, and the Bills are good, and that's all that matters. Don't get me wrong. I am very happy, very proud to be a Bills fan. And I love the Bills. And I would not want anything to be going differently for them. But at the same time, you cannot just forget about the Sabres. And you do not deserve to take responsibility for the Bills doing as well as they are if you're not going to take responsibility for the Sabres doing as poorly as they are. You can't choose to take responsibility for one. You can't be on the forefront for one, but then just back away and not take responsibility for the other. You have to be upfront with both. But no, they will choose to hide, to be cowards behind the Buffalo Bills because that is who they have that are good. And they will not acknowledge the bad because they don't want to be known for the bad. And to be quite honest with you, I've hated the Pegulas for a very long time, but I used to give them some sort of credit for what they've done with the Bills because the Bills are good, so they deserve some credit, right? Well, after all of this, I think I've changed my mind. They deserve no credit. They stumbled into the hiring of Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, and once they realized that those two guys are pretty damn good at what they do, they let them do it, and they acted like they actually did something. When they never really did, they just stumbled into them being two good hires, and now look at the Buffalo Bills, even though they haven't done a lick of shit. And then with the Buffalo Sabres, they haven't had that luck. They haven't gotten lucky in, finding two guys that could just run the show themselves. And they've tried to take the Buffalo Sabres into their own hands. And this is the damn result. So I don't care what anybody tries to tell me. They do not deserve credit for the Buffalo Bills. Because why do they deserve credit for the Buffalo Bills, but then they won't take credit for the shit that is going on with the Buffalo Sabres? So those are my thoughts about the Sabres, I guess. Wow. When I tell you my feelings have taken a complete 180 in the last day or so, I truly mean it. Like, literally a complete 180. This is just, I don't know. I'm speechless. I truly, honest to God, am speechless as to what just happened this morning. It's sad. It's really the darkest day in a very, very long time. And, assuming Eichel and Reinhart are on their way out, the last 5 or 6 years of suffering, of pain, of just being horrible were basically all for nothing. We didn't purposefully tank a lot of the years that we've been bad, but we purposefully tanked to get McDavid. We ended up with Eichel, which was perfectly fine. But that would be all for nothing if he ends up going out the door and we still haven't made the playoffs. It would be all for absolutely nothing. And these last 10 years of being absolutely horrible, getting draft capital, drafting players, developing players, it would be all for nothing because we'd be giving them away because they don't want to be here anymore because we've treated them with the smallest amount of respect that is possible. And I got to stop saying we because it's not we, it's them. It's the Pegulas. It's the Sabres upper management that has not known what they're doing, and it's them that has fucked this whole situation up. It's not Jack Eichel. You can't blame Jack Eichel anymore. After everything that just happened this morning, you do not blame Jack Eichel for not trying, for not caring, for not being a leader. This is no longer a hockey matter. This is morally screwed up. I want to know your thoughts on the whole situation, of course. Any thoughts you may have, leave them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, of course, please like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. If you want to hit the bell to be notified when I upload, I would appreciate that. If you want to go over to Twitter, follow me over there. I would appreciate that as well. I'm a part of the Built in Buffalo content creation team. If you want to follow them on any social media that you may have, please go and do so as well. But I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.